Welcome, beautiful souls, to the weekend. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you're all doing well. It is Saturday, so this is going to be one of my messages regarding ancestral patterns. For those of you who are drawn to this video, this is about your ancestry and patterns that you have that need to be let go of, worked on, things to learn about your ancestry as well. So I'm going to be using the Wisdom Keepers Oracle cards here. It's these here, the back. They have these really beautiful faces on them. It's one of my favorite decks here. And I'll be using the Angel and Ancestors Oracle cards as well to get some more messages from the ancestors for you guys. And then I do have, for the tarot, the Ethereal Visions tarot that I'll be using because I was drawn to using that particular deck today. So once again, I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this content, please do hit the like and subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. Also, I would like to say that if you're interested, I do have an Instagram account. You guys can go ahead and check me out there, Light of Shia. I post daily readings on there. I'll be getting into motivational quotes as well as pick a card readings. All right, so let's see here what message we have regarding ancestral patterns. I'll be reading out of the book for these cards. They are pretty lengthy. If you want to hear the story, there's a story attached to each card. It's basically like a parable, if you will. And if you're interested in me reading that from now on, please do leave a comment down below just letting me know about that. Let's go ahead and see here what we have. Interesting. So this card came out last week, Versatility. I'm going to pull one more because I feel like there's an additional message. So versatility, that's really interesting. So this message is coming through very strongly regarding the message last week. So if you're drawn to this particular video, I suggest checking out that reading because the spread that I used is going to be different this time around. Last time I used a Celtic cross spread, and I believe we were talking about relationships. So versatility here, I'll go ahead and read that to you. When I look into your eyes, I see great potential for talent and versatility. I am here to remind you that although talent requires persistent effort, everything gets easier when you take a stand for your true passion. Trust in your enthusiasm. Risk being different. Learn to let people down. I promise you, finding time to do what you love will get easier. Finding your people will get easier. Asking for help will get easier. Sharing your fears will get easier. Even hard work will get easier because everything you do will be fueled with love. Eventually, your knowledge and skills will become such a deep part of you that you'll be playing and improvising with life itself. Service and sustainability will just naturally happen. You are more ready than you know. It's a very beautiful message. So this card does speak of freeing yourself essentially and the beauty that comes along with life when you do that. Sometimes we tend to bog ourselves down with our day-to-day reality and expectations that other people have for us. And last week, I remember talking about this in particular with upbringing and culturally. I think the last week, the example that I used was, for example, let's say both of your parents were doctors and they wanted you to become a doctor because it was just the thing to do. That was kind of like a family trait, a lineage that you had to follow. But you were an artist. You felt a calling to do things that were more creative in nature. You know, you wanted to become a painter or something like that. It's about embracing those differences and standing up. This is also about setting healthy boundaries with people. How can you set healthier boundaries with people? Are there people in your life that you're letting dictate your life, right? Are there certain things that you feel you're drawn to, but you don't do them because it's not the right thing to do, or the whole should have mentality, I should have done this or I should be doing that, needs to kind of in a sense go away. So interestingly enough, the next card we have here is Aspiration. It's an absolutely beautiful card here. Let's go ahead and get into the message here. I've never pulled this particular card, so let's see what this is about. So with this particular card, it says, greed is an energy that will compromise its own integrity in a flash to get what it wants. And this is its downfall. Wow. I bring the gift of aspiration. Look long and hard at the ways you're still driven by fear, competition, and the desire to serve yourself. I come when it is time to start thinking about how to serve others and how to join forces in order to create a healthier, more sustainable world. Call out your inner Robin Hood. Start giving back. Think holistically. Find creative ways to more justly redistribute the resources on our planet. If you don't have money, donate time, energy, wisdom, and love. Remember, if you've been holding on to what you've got, this is a good time to let it go. If you've been resisting others' generosity, it's a good time to receive. Keep it flowing and all will thrive. So here's some questions for contemplation that I find really interesting. These are always really, really good. Where is your life flowing? Where are you holding back? Is your integrity being compromised by your ambition? That's a really interesting one. Has the desire to own and accumulate taken over your life? Have you given up on your ambitions out of disillusionment? So it's really interesting. Are you seeing the correspondence here between these two cards? There seems to be a calling that you have this with the versatility card here. I hope the light reflection isn't too bad on these. But these cards are essentially calling you to something higher, something bigger than yourself. Maybe your ancestors, because your parents and their parents, they're the ancestry, right? There may have been things that were instilled in you. Some of you may come from even a poverty consciousness or like a lack mentality, and there is a need for you to view why that is. Where did these belief systems stem from? Where in your life did you start to assimilate these particular belief systems, and how are you creating them like unconsciously in your life? Are there certain things do you feel like, for example, a 9 to 5 is the only way that you can provide for yourself, when there's an entire economy based off of gigs and freelancing, things that you can actually do that you enjoy doing? There's the whole side hustle thing too, but there's this weird combination between hard work and effort, and the distinction between effort and something that you love and hard work, because usually hard work is it's like trudging through things. It's like trying to get through things. It's a daily grind. Whereas when you put effort into things that you love, there's a flow to it. There's no the effort is almost like seamless, if that makes any sense. So it's about looking at these things. And then of course, redistributing resources is a really big thing right now. Obviously, environmentalism is one of the bigger things that is concerning a lot of people at this time, the developed countries, especially because they're the ones contributing to the destruction of Gaia, of planet Earth, of our home. And it's time to start taking a look at that. How are we contributing to it? And what is our level of accountability on it? I could do a whole video just around environmentalism, because it's something I'm quite passionate about. But that's besides the point. A lot of the food that we consume also does correspond like how it impacts our environment quite a bit. So there's a few documentaries out there that I really enjoyed. I think there was one called Forks Over Knives. Cowspiracy is a good one for those of you who are familiar with it. I highly suggest watching that one as well. But those really link to animal agriculture, the impacts it has on our planet. But anyway, that's besides the point. This is kind of all leading in the same direction, because we don't need to have copious amounts of money. You could still be well off within yourself and still give your time, your wisdom to help others out. So let's go ahead and get into the tarot here. We're going to be using the ethereal vision cards to get into some messages regarding your ancestry and all that. So the first card I'll be pulling here is what role your ancestry is playing in your life right now in this moment, how it's impacting your life. Okay, perfect. So this is a really good card to have. The first card we have is the 9 of Pentacles. So you may be feeling very confident right now, very abundant, This card is about being self-sufficient, a person who lacks nothing. This is a person who is comfortable in their own space and knows their value, knows their worth. For those of you who aren't resonating with that, I'm getting the need to clarify. This is something that your ancestry is impacting, your capability of feeling that way about yourself and about your life. If you feel that you have a kind of like a lack mentality, this is why your ancestry in your lineage. There have been certain thought patterns, certain belief systems that have been instilled in you over time that have caused you to believe these things. Others of you, however, are well off, and this is a gift that your ancestors brought to you. So the next traits we'll be looking to, or rather the next two cards. The first card is going to be for the skills that they've brought to you into your life. And the third card will be for specific traits that they've instilled in you. So what are some skills here that, interesting. And then for the traits here, this particular group, ancestors, interesting. So I actually have two cards come out for traits. And interestingly enough, I'll get into the bottom of the deck as well. So the skills that your ancestors taught you is the 10 of Wands. So you are likely a hard worker. You know how to deal with very burdensome situations with a lot of ease and grace in comparison to others. For some of you, there have just simply been the capabilities of being able to take on, like I said, more than the normal person would be able to, and being able to deal with it in a way that is empowering almost. And the only reason I say almost in that sense is because nobody should have to carry all of these burdens by themselves. You, however, are very capable of taking on, as I said, all of these difficulties and be able to deal with them. There is a need to, of course, be able to put that down and be able to ask for help from others. But you're a very capable person. This is the 10 of Wands, having that as a skill, you're very resilient. You don't give up easily. You see through, that's interesting. You see through things. You see them through to the end is what I'm trying to say. So now in terms of traits, I find this very interesting because we got the 3 of Swords, which is pain, heartbreak, and we have the Death card, transformation. And interestingly enough, at the bottom of the deck, we have the 4 of Swords. So healing energy there, the healing after the pain. So a lot of you have likely endured a great deal of pain through your family lineage even. Some of you may have dealt with even, I'm getting here, abuse of some sort. And it comes in various forms. It doesn't always have to be physical. Some of it can be verbal, emotional, manipulation, gaslighting, things of that nature. Even, I'm getting, interestingly enough, questioning of your self-worth. When we come into this plane, when we incarnate as children, our hearts are wide open. And so it's like this, I'm seeing this wide open heart filled with beauty and love being pierced by the circumstances in the home. And so these are some wounds that you guys are still carrying that were instilled likely into you from your childhood. And this is a pattern that has been repeating over time within your home. So your parents likely suffered very similar things as yourself. They may have processed them differently, and some of them may even have gotten better at it. And in that same way, you have that capability too of removing these toxic patterns from yourself. And so if you choose to have children, then you can instill these new found traits in them instead of carrying the old. And so you do have the capability of putting an end to the pain, putting an end to it and transforming it, transmuting it. So this is very beautiful because you're capable of enduring a lot with the 10 of Wands, and you still have the resilience left over to be able to transmute this pain. And I know it's not easy, and it may not be pleasant, but not a lot of people have that capability, and your ancestry has taught you this. There's a lot of shadow energy here, heavy Scorpio with the death card here, which is a planet associated with Pluto, which is a planet associated with like transformation, deep rooted stuff. This is about deep emotion, right? It's a very like I'm getting that sense of almost immensity here. So let's go ahead and get into the rest of the reading here. So what are some lessons here? What is a lesson here for the viewer regarding lessons from the past, from their ancestors, things that they've, interesting, things that they have been carrying with them? The Nine of Swords came out. Some of you may have dealt with anxiety or depression as a result of these issues. Okay. Yeah, so I'm getting some of you, we do have the Strength card. I was telling you, there's a lot of resilience here. A lot of resilience from your ancestry. We have the Five of Cups, which is regret, remorse, loss, there's more deep wounds here. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this could be about the home. This could be mother wounds, like wounds from your mother that were inflicted from the feminine. There may have been misconceptions that your mother or grandmothers may have had. But with this Strength card here, there is a resilience behind it. There is a need to dig deep and really process these emotions, and there's a sense of compassion coming out of it. Likely, I'm getting, for some of you, the feminine in your life, there was a time where they may have caused pain in the family and in the home, and as they aged, they stepped more and more into the Strength because they started learning and realizing things. We have the Judgment at the bottom of the deck here, learning and assimilating these lessons because they recognized they had already given you these very difficult lessons for you to process, but after that had happened, they slowly started coming out of this pain themselves later on in life. That's a really interesting message that I'm getting there. So this lesson is about dealing with the past, because remember, with the Five of Cups here, we have 3 spilled cups, but there's still 2 behind you. So this could also be, once again, that lack mentality that I'm getting, because you're so focused on the 3 because of the quantity. But the 2 of Cups is sitting behind this figure who's crying, who is in deep despair. There's a need to turn around and look. There's hope on the other side. Some of you may need to come into a place of more nurturing of the self as well as a result of this. So let's go ahead and see here how you can deepen your connection with your ancestry, with your ancestors. Interesting. So we have the Devil here, Capricornian energy. For some of you, your ancestors came from a very, very dark lineage. Interestingly enough, I'm getting the sense that some of your ancestors from the past may have practiced black magic or more destructive behaviors that were toxic in nature. And this is dated much further back. I'm not getting the sense that this is something that your parents or even your grandparents did. This could be like great grandparents that may have done this. And interestingly enough, the darker ancestors are actually coming through right now through this card I'm getting. And if you did want to connect with them on that level, there would be the desire for you to learn about the dark arts, learn more about like the shadow aspects. Now, I myself am not the kind of person who practices these kind of things because I associate myself more with love and light, and when given the opportunity, I specifically turn that down, but that's my experience. There is no judgment on my behalf if those of you who are interested in that choose to do that, because life is varying shades of gray, and there is no such thing as pure good and pure evil. It's varying shades of gray, and the divine doesn't truly, it's not that the divine doesn't care. The divine cares more about your personal choices, about free will. So if this is something that your soul is here to learn and you're attuning to it, that is perfectly fine and natural for you. This could also be more involved in the physicality. That last message is going to be very specific for some people out there. But this is more about physicality and playing in the material realm, and indulging more. And for others of you, of course, this is, if you're not resonating with that at all, it's because you're feeling the need to shy away from this, in which case that would be your soul calling your truth as to how you don't want to align with these vibrations. You want to ascend. And so it's about leaving these things behind. This could be also leaving behind addictions for some of you. These addictions could be presented to you in various forms. And it could be something as innocent as even drinking coffee, like saying, I need coffee as opposed to I want coffee. What is the distinction between the two? Because needing coffee to get through the day is very different from enjoying a cup of coffee because it's something you actually enjoy, right? I'm also getting, for some of you, this could come in the form of alcoholism or indulging a bit too much in alcohol to the point where some of you may even have become dependent to numb your feelings. This is also in terms of regarding to marijuana or any harder drug substances. And for others of you, I'm getting the sense that I need to say that this is also about codependency. Some of you in relationships have been used to doing all the work. And so this is a very toxic pattern because you're putting yourself in jeopardy. And it's time to take a look at that. If you want to deepen your connection with your ancestors, it's about acknowledging that. And I'm seeing, interestingly enough, the circle here, kind of like in the world card or the universe in some decks. And it's about wrapping up these karmic cycles. So it's about processing through the karma for others. Take whatever resonates. Once again, these are general readings. All right, so let's go ahead and look a little bit further into this. What is a message from your ancestors directly to you? This is beautiful. We have the Queen of Wands here. So your ancestors are asking you to take control of your life and move into a place of self-confidence. The Queen of Wands, interestingly enough, once again, I'm getting the esoteric with the black cat here, because the Queen of Wands does have a black cat. So for some of you, that this is a very specific message for, like, this is not going to resonate for everyone about the esoteric and the dark arts and all that stuff, and learning about it. You don't have to practice it, but learning about it. For the rest of you, that's not the message for. This is about understanding your self-worth, your confidence. This is about being stepping into higher vibration and starting to look at life from the realm of positivity. This is about raising the vibration. This is about stepping into confidence. This is about going for the things that you want. Remember, we have the aspiration and versatility cards here, which refer to this. Some of you need to understand how to set healthier boundaries. Some of you need to understand that it's okay for you to move into your aspirations. Interestingly enough, with the aspiration card here, for some of you, this devil is about greed, and it's about releasing greed. Where is this greed coming from? In the States, I can't remember, I think it was The Wolf of Wall Street or another movie where someone said that greed is good. And this is kind of like an idea that has been instilled in us due to capitalism, at least here in the States and in other developed countries. But here in the United States, capitalism is the way to be. It's the way to go, and it runs rampant in our society, and it's changed our culture as a result. So this could be about looking at greed. Now, back to the Queen of Wands here. This is about, once again, stepping into a place of confidence and looking at things from the positive side. It's time to start questioning what your self-worth is. And I don't mean like questioning, I don't want to say, that's the incorrect way of wording it. I want to say that rather, you need to start questioning what your beliefs around your self-worth are. What are your beliefs around your self-worth? Do you believe that you're worthy of things? Do you believe that you deserve better in life? Because you do. You are absolutely 100% entitled to love and affection and wealth and all of the things, everything, anything you can imagine that you want. You are worthy of that. your very nature dictates that, because you're a divine being of love and light, and that's what you're worthy of. So it's time to see life from that perspective and claim it. Claim it for yourself. Claim it as your own. All right, so very interesting reading here. Let's go ahead and get into some messages from your ancestors, some additional messages from the Angel and Ancestors Oracle cards. Here we go. I'm told to pull this one as well. Look at this. This really corresponds with the last message. Son, enjoy success and happiness. You're worthy of success and happiness. You're worthy of love. And your ancestors are coming through. They've been trying to help you through any difficulties in your life right now. Now, I'm seeing the correspondence between these two cards here. The Hunter, track down your fears and desires, or your desires and fears. So this is about looking at, because interestingly enough, I'm getting that this card is very related to the Devil here. What are you afraid of and why? You know, when we were kids, we used to ask that question all the time. Why this? Why is the sky blue? Why is this? Why is that? Why? And it got kind of like, in a sense, beaten out of us over time. Why is such an important question? Why do I feel this way? Why do I think this way? Why do I do what I do? Why? Question everything. Why not? Ask yourself the questions. Because once you start tracking down what it is that you truly want in this life and what you're afraid of, you start to see both sides. They're part of the same coin. They're two different sides of the same coin here. Your fears and your desires. When you want something, you're also afraid of not having it. There's the Five of Pentacles, lack mentality here. Now, this is really interesting here. We have the Medicine Guardian, be open to healing information. It's likely that some of you have been closed off in the heart space for a bit here. Some of you may even be in relationships and not even, I'm getting this really interesting message. Some of you may even be in relationships and not truly opening up to your significant other because you're still afraid of loving them. Because in a sense, deep down, you feel maybe you're not worthy of that, but you are. And so it's time to look at why that is. For others of you, your ancestors have actually been trying to send you messages. For some of you, it could be through numbers or through tarot readings or through your dreams. Some of your dreams could be linked to ancestral patterns that you have. And so it's about being open and receptive to this information, because if you're shutting it off, if you're closing down, you're not allowing yourself to expand. The Sun is a very expansive card in the tarot. It's about expansion and growth and illumination. So it's about allowing the illumination to come into to really light up the darkness. You see how this Hunter has his back turned to like that chasm. There's a chasm, there's a void behind him. He's already gone through the darkness. He knows how to track things down because he's done the inner work. He knows how to pursue what it is that he wants. And so this is very important for you right now, because this will help heal you. I'm seeing the, I forgot what this particular sacred geometry in the back is. I know it's based off of the flower of life, but I forgot what the giant one is. There's like a combination of a ton of flowers of life or seeds of life. And for whatever reason, this particular sacred geometry made me think of Archangel Metatron. So some of you could actually work with that particular angel, look up some rituals or meditations involving him in order for him to kind of just step in and help you, aid you through these difficulties, aid you through these burdens, codependencies, addictions, whatever they may be. And that will help you move along into a better place in your life. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the reading here. I want to thank you once again for being here. If you enjoyed the content, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be doing more of these, so this is going to be a Saturday thing. And for those of you curious about my upload schedule, there is a link down in the description. I also do personal readings. There is also a link in the description for that. Backtracking there, there's no link in the description for my upload times. It's just my schedule that's uploaded. I'm sorry, I didn't get enough sleep last night. But anyway, that's besides the point. I'm going to go ahead and leave you here. I'm sending you so much love and so much light. Take care.